So today's video is going to be a disassembly on my buddy Isaiah's Emerson CQC8. Let me move the knife off. His Instagram is @LivingLifeByTheEdge. And come on, let's get him some more followers. He's almost to 700. So, Isaiah DM'd me on Instagram asking if I could sharpen this knife for him. I told him I was very excited that I got to actually hold a true Emerson. Because I've held the Kershaw Emersons, and they're really nice for the price point. And this is a significantly more expensive knife than that Kershaw. So, enough rambling. Put that off to the side. So, what I did when I first got this, I flipped it open and closed so many times. And I heard that Emerson's did not have the best action. And yeah, they don't have the best action, but I mean, come on. That isn't bad for a Teflon action. So what I will be using today is my 50% isopropyl alcohol with a wintergreen scent, a clean rag, my mat that got off, and the Halmy and Weehaw. There's nothing on that side that needs to be shown. You can see that there. I got it off of GearBest for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, and it's made by Weehaw. And as I say, Weehaw's are amazing with their bits. Let's go with that one. So I just gotta see if this will fit in here. Absolutely, but I'm gonna grab the bigger size. For a better fit. Yeah, absolutely a better fit. So, what I like about the Emersons is it's simple to take apart. You have a big flathead screw, and you have 4 Phillips head screws. And in order to take this knife apart, you have to take apart the other side as well. And I will show you why in a little bit. So the first one to take off is the pivot. So you can see that these are not in the same order on both sides. So it goes one screw here, another screw, and another screw. On this side, the screws are absolutely going a lot further through. Just look at the size of the screw. I mean, that's absolutely going into the other titanium piece. At least I think these are titanium. And I can already feel the knife trying to disassemble itself in my hands. There we go. Let's go right there. And one more. Alright. And now the knife can be taken apart. Now I did drop some oil in the bit. Yeah, I think this might be titanium because it's actually ridiculously light for a scale of this size. Put that off to the side. The backspacer is just floating there. It's captive by the screws. And this big ass stop pin. So the first thing I want to do to clean this is pour some alcohol. That was a lot of alcohol. But you just wipe off the sides. Now there is some lock stick on this knife. I don't think it's gonna go away exactly. You push the pivot through. You know what? I'm gonna test this right now. So this flashlight is just a Walmart flashlight. Okay. And on either end there is a magnet. And I will just go ahead and test right now if this is titanium or steel. And there we go, big mystery solved. It is titanium. I like titanium because it's a little bit stronger. It's not a super high polished machining, but as you can see, there is another detent spring here, and what I saw was when the knife is closed, this sits in a detent hole and it rides along until there. I'll hold this up a little bit closer. You can see it's worn in really well, actually. It's already gone through the coating, which I really like. And there's one on the other side for the actual detent. You know, I wish that this was a little bit stronger of a detent, because I like to flick the knives out, but with the Teflon action, I don't think it will ever get the flip out on it. So I cleaned that. going to clean the G10, which this is some of the grippiest G10 I've ever felt. Like, wow. And I've had a lot of G10 knives. And this is after some love and caring use from Isaiah, too. And I can't imagine how good that G10 would feel when it's not worn. So, let me find the alcohol part. Switch to new side. Clean off the pivot. Now I did put oil in it because I thought it would help, but I don't think it really mattered. So I will not be putting any lubricant in. Go ahead and clean off the Teflon. Now, there are two sizes of Teflon washers, obviously, you can see that. The bigger one usually tends to not go on the lock side, but in this case, because of this second detent, they decided to put it on the other side. I don't think it really matters because it would fit on both sides, but this is how the knife came, and I'm going to put it back in the same manner. So now that the knife has been cleaned, I forgot to show you why I had to take both sides of screws off. So you can see that there are 4 holes here. On this scale, this is the show side. And you can see there are the 2 holes right there and the lanyard hole. Here's the lanyard hole, and you have the 2 holes right there. What are the extra 2 for? They go through this side and screw directly into the titanium. Now, that gives it such robustness that I can't imagine you ever breaking it from this part back. Like, your point of failure is going to absolutely be in the pivot itself, but this is a thick ass pivot and a thick ass stop pin. So I will put the stop pin back in. I will put the larger one on there. This side is the smoother side, so I will put it towards the blade. And there we go. Well, you know what? Since I already said this has so much lock stick, I'm going to put a little bit of Sharpie on it. You don't need a lot, but I like to go the entire lock face. You can see that it's now green. And I did that the first time. So I'm going to put it on the lock as well. Doesn't matter what color Sharpie you use. I haven't found a real difference. There goes the stop pin. Alright. There we go. Put this on there. And what I absolutely love to do is, if the knife has a floating backspacer like this one, it's going to want to move around. There's no shouldering. So what I like to do is I like to put the screws in on this side. There we go. Let me hold it up. There you go. So I like to spear it. You can see the screws poking out a little bit. So that I can hold it there. And there I just so happen to have it in the correct spot. I'm not going to fully tighten this down. You know what, I'm going to pull it back just a tiny bit. And then put in my pivot. At this point, I would put Loctite on the pivot. There we go. Pivots all the way through. And this blade was very dull when it came to me. That's a whole other reason why Isaiah sent this knife to me. He wants me to put an edge on this. And this is the first Emerson that I will ever put an edge on, and I am extremely excited. So I have my pivot in, basically to the tightness that I want. So I'm going to shut this, and then I will screw in the rest of the screws. Alright. Pull it back. I don't know if it matters, but I like to go from the furthest from the pivot, and oh yeah, let me check for blade play. There is some, so I will give this a little bit of a turn. That's a little tight. Centering is okay. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. And there is no blade play. Let me see if it'll come out of the pocket easy. Oh yeah. If you guys could hear that, there was authority. Because of the wave feature, which I will show in the review video. And so far, there is no lock stick, so I am very happy with that. Such a solid knife. And thank you, Isaiah, for letting me take a look at this. I will make sure she is very sharp. She comes back to you clean, sharp, and just as sexy as ever.